Hi, welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, Real Estate Unleashed. I am your co-host, Bridget Quinn. You can find me on all social media, B Quinn Realtor.
And I'm Regan Hildebrand with Home Team Realty. You can find me on social media at Realtor Regan. Welcome, Bridget.
Welcome, Regan.
Yeah, so another day.
Another day, another dollar holla.
I hope so. Yeah. All right. So what we got going on today?
Well, I don't know. It's
another day, another set of topics. Yeah. Yeah. So if, last time we talked a little bit about the past couple episodes about things that agents agree on, don't agree on. Yeah. Thought today we talk a little bit about maybe, real estate tips for 2023. Yeah. Yeah.
Let us be your realtors. That's the main tip.
Yep. Hire us if you can. Get into the comments, shoot us a message, find us on social media. But we had some ideas on some things that I think it's really important that people, if you're thinking about whether it's the buying, the selling, or just your value of your property, things to keep in mind in 2023 that are a little different than they have been in years past.
That was what I was going to say. It's 2023 is going to be a different market than 2022 and especially 2021, where it was crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's a different market for sellers. It's a different market for buyers. And it's a learning game for a lot of us agents that haven't been in it 20 plus years to kind of feel the shifty swing of things. Swing.
Yeah. If for a lot of agents that are out there now, haven't really experienced a solid buyer's market, which this is what we're heading towards. Even if by the numbers we're not quite there yet,
Right.
It's definitely on the horizon. And with that, I think that for people, whether or not you're buyers or sellers, there's things that you need to know and keep in mind going into this new normal.
Yep.
And number one of that, I think, is you were talking about hire us as agents. If you're in the North Carolina or South Carolina markets, we're absolutely available to you. But if you're not, and you need to make that decision on where to go, the number one step, or what to do, the number one step is to start interviewing agents now.
Right. And that's exactly what I do if I have someone reach out to me and say, hey, I'm going to move to Tennessee. I know that we've got some referrals going out to Tennessee peoples. And if I'm not familiar with an agent, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do my homework and I'm going to interview people and ask those questions and figure out, okay, how do you operate? Are you doing the same things that I would do here in the Charlotte area? I want to make sure that clients are taken care of.
Yeah, that, sometimes we're fortunate to have a relationship with another agent outside of our market that we can rely on. But exactly to your point, if you don't already know that, you're going to do the same thing we do, which is start that interview process. You're kind of doing your due diligence.
Well, look at reviews. Look what people have to say about the agents. I mean, we check Google, we check Zillow, we checked Realtor, we check a whole lot of things. I check their social media because, if somebody's not professional on social media or what they post, it influences what I think.
Yeah, exactly. If for us as agents, when we're sending out a referral from a past client or somebody that's a good friend, we want to make sure they're a match, not just on the review side and the data side, but also are they a good fit? You were mentioning giving a phone call or just chatting with them to see, hey, do we gel?
Yep.
Are we on the same page? We have a pretty good idea of what our past clients or friends and family are looking for, not only in a house, but also in somebody to help them get that house.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's definitely the most important thing to get started.
Yeah, for sure. And, I just went through that process this past weekend with a referral from a past client of mine who had had one of their friends or coworkers reach out. And, they told me straight up, we're interviewing agents, which I'm going to say absolutely.
As they should. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just jump in and the first name you pick out. We've talked about that in other episodes. You can't be the first name you come across or the first person to open a door. You have to go through an interview process.
Yeah, sure.
And if an agent tells you that, well, either pick me or don't, then that's usually a pretty good sign that if they're not willing to compete for not only your business, but for that relationship, Yeah.
I kind of think of it the same way, if you step into a house within the first 30 seconds, you know if that's going to be the right house or not. Same with agents. When you talk to somebody, or you can kind of get a feel if you're going to gel a personality or style, you know that what's going to work or what's not going to work.
Exactly. Yeah. And there have been plenty of times when I knew it might not click, but luckily if I get that sense, I'm going to be able to tell the people, hey, look, you know what? We might not be able to work together for whatever circumstances, or maybe it's just geographic, what have
Or
you.
maybe it's not your specialty, maybe somebody
Yeah.
comes to you and wants to do commercial.
Yep. Yep.
That's certainly not my expertise, so I'm going to try to refer that out to somebody else who I know is going to do that justice.
Correct. Yeah. I had a friend of Amy's that reached out, well, it's been about a week or so ago now, and they're looking for commercial property for a hair salon. I don't know the first thing, and I'll be the first to admit it. But luckily, I do know an agent locally who has
Right.
that ability to help
Yep.
on the commercial side. So, yeah, it's just about knowing the right things and asking the right questions, which we talked a lot about.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely go back to the old episodes, and you'll find a lot of resources.
Roll back.
There it is again. That little rollback cowboy smiley will haunt me for the rest of my life. But yeah, I think that's first step. Interview the agents.
Yep.
Find the person that fits with you and has the right resources and covers the areas that you're interested in. And then second is, once you're kind of moving forward, and some people might do this first before the agent piece. Potato, but it's getting that solid pre-approval.
Absolutely. Not just online, hey, I'm going to call these big name online websites and see if I qualify. Actually talk to a lender of some sort.
Yeah. And because this market is so heavy towards the part of the lending needs, meaning that interest rate is so vital right now and so much goes into the home buying process, I think it's uber important that any buyer, especially, get with somebody they're comfortable with and can give them a lot of assurance that pre-approval handing them is fully vetted.
Right. We've talked about it before. If you're a first-time home buyer and you don't know anything about the process, the loan side of things, you're going to want a lender who walks you through step by step and helps understand, or teaches you about the process, the terms, what it means, and then have that agent that you've already interviewed reestablish those things.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very symbiotic relationship.
Yep.
And when people mention a lender or a loan officer they're working with, a lot of them will have good reputations and will know, maybe not have worked with them directly, but will recognize the names of the institutions. And, it gives us some assurance too on this side of, hey, this person that wants to buy a house is already set up for success,
Right.
working with a good fit. And on this listing side, so if I'm listing a home and I get an offer in and it's got a pre-approval from either some completely no-name out of left field institution that's not even doing business here on the regular basis, or like you said, one of these big no-name or big name, but kind of call center type online only places, it's not going to look as good for the seller. And it's not going to give them the confidence to put your offer near the top of the list.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And then, the third thing is now, different than before, you can take your time.
You can.
And I don't think buyers especially should feel like they're pressured to make a decision on the spot anymore.
I would still go fast, right? Because it's still, if the house is priced to sell, priced accordingly, you've got potential for multiple offers. So you still want to be on top of things when it comes to putting in your offer, but you don't have to basically write that offer sitting in the driveway of the house as soon as you see it.
Yeah.
You do have time to process, and as a lot of people old school like to say, you gotta sleep on it,
Yeah, well, the old adage, your point about don't wait too long, the old adage is still true. If you're buying a house, it's different than buying a mattress. You can't sleep on it. But precisely, you don't have to make a decision in the living room or in the parking lot or driveway. You can have your agent go in, maybe just put together some scenarios that would make for both an aggressive but attractive offer.
Right.
And on the sell side, I think it's the same thing. You can take your time to get ready, but you don't want to wait too long to list that house.
Right. Well, especially now that, spring is right around the corner, you're going to want to go ahead and sort of get sooner rather than later to beat everybody to the punch, You want to do it while it's a little bit less competition out there so you can try to still get the highest, price point for it. So
yeah, if you drag your feet on the listing side, then you're not maybe going to be the only house on that street
right.
in a desirable area. There might be your neighbors that start listing.
Might be options, yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of a balancing act, and that's where you have to have a good agent in your corner to say when is the right time to pull the trigger. Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to kicking the can down the road never benefits anybody, and the numbers all show that. So yeah. And then fourth, time to get out of the rentals. Get out of renting.
We talked about it before. To me, there's only a short list of when it's okay to rent. If you're checking an area out and it's going to be short term and different things, but for the long term haul, renting is not a good solution at all. You're just wasting money. You're not getting any tax benefits of it. You're giving it to somebody else to pay the mortgage or a company.
Yeah, and especially in 2023, we're seeing such an opportunity for people to take advantage of opportunities, programs that can get you into a house a little bit better than maybe you think.
Right.
But the thing that I keep hearing, and I just heard this from a young lady last week, was who was looking for a rental. I don't know if I'm going to be in this area long term, so I want to do this or that. But, quote, the application fees are killing me.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So you can go through this process of renting and trying to find a rental house, and you're going to pay upwards of $100 to $150 for each application.
Each
single application.
Yeah.
Whereas
that's at a minimum.
minimum, yeah. And I picked her brain a little bit and said, what is it that's keeping you from applying for a mortgage? And again, it was that uncertainty of location, which I get. But and she said that she'd been through, I think, 10 or 11 applications. So you've dumped into the thousands now in rental application fees.
That could have been your due diligence money that you put down.
Yeah. And versus the cost to apply for a mortgage is a credit check fee, which can even be rolled into the mortgage.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
And then there's no cost to write offers on houses.
Nope.
So dumping to your exact statement of a fee, a deposit fee.
It could have went to something. I mean, it could have went to, as I say, the due diligence. It could have went into the appraisal fee. It could have went into a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah, keep it in your pocket. Yeah. So now what we're seeing with these application fees being so insane with so many landlords, property management companies, why are you wasting money filling out application fees when you can just see if there's an opportunity to buy?
Well, and we talked about previous episodes too, like people traditionally still think that they have to have 20% down, or they have to have an extremely fantastic credit score, or they have to be a W-2 employee. Like there's so many factors around those things that's not true.
Right.
And that's where when you work with great agents who work with great lenders and great vendors and different things like that, we have those people that can assist in better helping you along the way. If you don't have that, if you're a commission-based earnings, or, you don't really have a great credit score, there's people that can still get you there.
Yep. Which is that final point that I would make for 2023 is you have to ask questions. And all the other topics that we just talked about tie back to that.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know, and it's okay to ask questions.
Right. And by asking questions, you will find out so much more now that you can get from out of this whole process, whether it's a buying or selling side. You don't know what you don't know.
And that's okay. I mean,
but you're going to trip up and find out things the hard way. Again, maybe it's through the rental application process bleeding you dry. Maybe it's through not getting the right lender. maybe it's by rushing things, or by simply taking, again, like the rush approach to finding an agent.
Right.
You got to ask questions. You got to do your own due diligence ahead of time to be smart in this market. Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. 5 simple things. Get in a home, sell a home. Yeah. Yeah.
Use us as your realtors. Easy
Yeah.
peasy.
And if you don't want to go through that whole process, so, we've got enough of a repertoire of videos here. We hope that anybody that's watching can get a sense of what we can help you do, whether it's buying, selling, or investing. You don't have to do all that stuff yourself. So if you're getting out there, wherever you are,
don't do it alone.
Don't do it alone. We'll help you. We'll be glad to kind of put resources towards finding the right agent for you, even if you're outside of our area. So reach out, leave us a comment, drop us a DM. We're happy to help. Our email is also in the info down below, along with that other important button.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified. We're going to keep putting out good content with some tips to really drive home the idea of this is the right time to jump in, and we're here to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And as always, you can find me online on all social media at Realtor Regan.
And you can find me on social media, B Quinn Realtor, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye. Thanks, guys.